This is the Yamanote Line in Tokyo. 4.5 million people ride it every day. It costs $32 every second to run. Tickets cost $1. You'd think that's enough. 4.5 million people, $1 each. But JR East, the company that runs this train, made $1.5 billion in profit last year. And when you look at what it costs to operate a train like this, the ticket revenue barely covers it. So if the train itself makes almost nothing, where does the $1.5 billion come from? Most people assume the volume makes up for the low fares. 4.5 million passengers per day sounds massive. And the math seems to work. $4.5 million per day times 365 days, that's $1.6 billion per year. But running trains is expensive. The Yamanote operates about 50 train sets in a continuous loop. Trains depart every 2 to 3 minutes during rush hour. Electricity costs every 2 minutes. Driver salaries every 2 minutes. Maintenance every 2 minutes. Plus track maintenance, station, staff, platform safety systems, ticket gates, cleaning crews, security. When JR East reports its financials, railway operations cost 87% of railway revenue. That $1.6 billion in Yamanote tickets, about $1.4 billion goes to operating costs. You're left with maybe $200 million in profit from the train itself. But JR East made $1.5 billion in profit. We're missing $1.3 billion. Here's what makes this more interesting. The Yamanote isn't even JR East's most profitable train. The Shinkansen is. JR East operates 5 bullet train lines: Tohoku, Joetsu, Hokuriku, Yamagata, and Akita. Last year, Shinkansen revenue, 583 billion yen, $3.9 billion. Tokyo to Sendai on the Shinkansen costs 10,000 yen, $67. The Yamanote costs 150 yen, $1. The Shinkansen fare is 67 times higher. And the Shinkansen still operates at the same margin as the Yamanote, about 9%. Even the bullet trains barely break even. Walk out of Shinjuku Station and look up. Lumine, a shopping center built directly into the station complex. Last year, Lumine Shinjuku made $374 million in revenue from one building at one station. That's more than the entire Yamanote Line makes in profit from tickets from one shopping center. JR East operates 169 shopping centers across its network. Total shopping center revenue, $8.6 billion per year. The Shinkansen, all 5 bullet train lines combined, makes $3.9 billion. The shopping malls make more than twice what the bullet trains make. Then there's office space. JR East owns 54 office buildings, most directly above or next to stations. Hotels inside stations, convenience stores on every platform, advertising space covering every wall. When you add up everything that isn't train tickets, retail, real estate, hotels, advertising, you get about $7 billion per year. All trains combined, Yamanote, Shinkansen, everything, make $1.7 billion in profit. Everything around the trains makes $7 billion. And operating a shopping mall costs way less than operating a train. Real estate operating margin, 27%. Railway operating margin, 9%. 3 times more profitable. So here's the question. If trains barely break even and shopping malls make all the profit, why run trains at all? Because without the trains, the shopping malls are worthless. Lumine Shinjuku makes $374 million because 4.5 million people walk past it every day. Remove the train, and those 4.5 million people don't show up. The mall doesn't make $374 million, it makes 0. The trains deliver billions in foot traffic to properties that JR East owns. At $32 per second, they're an expensive delivery system. But that delivery system makes everything else possible. To understand how this works, you need to go back to 1906. When the government started planning the Yamanote Line, central Tokyo wasn't the megacity it is today. Most of it was cheap land. The railway company did something unusual. Before laying a single meter of track, they bought massive plots of land around every planned station. Not just land for the station itself, everything within 500 meters. At the time, it seemed wasteful. Why does a train company need so much land? But the railway company understood something that wouldn't become obvious for decades. Trains create value around them. The moment you announce a train station, empty land becomes prime real estate. Property values within 500 meters of a station can increase by 10 times, 20 times, sometimes 50 times. By 1925, when the loop was completed, the railway company owned most of the valuable land in what is now central Tokyo. And they never sold it. Today, that land sits on JR East's balance sheet at $15 billion. Purchase price from 1906, book value. Real value? Probably $50 billion, maybe $100 billion. Here's what most people miss about JR East. Trains are only 67% of their revenue. The real money comes from owning land that trains make valuable. Every shopping center, every office tower, every hotel within 500 meters of a Yamanote station, most sit on land owned by JR East. And in Tokyo, you don't buy land, you lease it. Companies build skyscrapers, open department stores, construct hotels, and everyone pays JR East ground lease rent forever. This is where the missing $1.3 billion comes from. The train costs $32 per second to run. The train barely breaks even on tickets. But the train delivers 4.5 million people per day to land that JR East owns. Those 4.5 million people shop in malls on JR East land. They work in offices on JR East land. They stay in hotels on JR East land. Build the trains, own the land, collect the rent. Compare this to New York. The MTA runs the subway, private developers own the land above the stations. When a subway station drives up property values, when luxury apartments and office towers open above a stop, all that value goes to private landlords. The MTA gets nothing. In 2023, the New York City subway lost $1.2 billion. Real estate above those same subway stations generated tens of billions for private developers. Hudson Yards, built over MTA rail yards, $30 billion in development. The profits went to related companies, not the MTA. JR East figured this out in 1906. Own the land before you build the trains. New York still hasn't figured it out. So here's how you run a train that costs $32 per second and still make billions. 1. Buy the land before you build the trains. Not just station land, everything around it. 2. Build the train. This increases land values by 10 to 50 times. 3. Lease the land. Don't sell. Collect ground rent forever. 4. Run the train at break even or a small loss. It doesn't matter. The train delivers customers to your land. The train costs $32 per second. The land makes $1.5 billion per year. That's the model.